What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alya if you're new here. So today's video, I thought it would be fun to do an entire look with popular makeup that I never wear. Obviously I have a ton of makeup in my collection since filming YouTube is my job, but there's just inevitably products that I really just don't reach for whatever reason. I just have others that are my favorites, or they just get buried at the bottom of the drawer and I forget about them. So we're going to revisit some of those today, and maybe I'll fall back in love with them, or maybe I will remember why I don't reach for them in the first place. So without further ado, let's jump on into it. For primer, I already know why I don't like this one, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but this is the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. I know I've recommended this in the past, and that was until the e.l.f. Putty Primer took its place. This one just for some reason makes my foundation separate, particularly like in this area around the nose. I don't know what it is. I've tried it with multiple different foundations. I have really just, I don't know, I've tried this a lot. Like I've used quite a bit of this because, you know, this was not cheap. This was like 40 bucks. And if I buy a high-end product and I spend the money on it, I want to get my money's worth. So we're gonna test it again. Maybe I was just using too much. So we're gonna be very like minimal with it today and see if maybe we can get this to cooperate. The other thing that I noticed with this was sometimes it was making my skin break out, like it was clogging my pores, which, and I know it's like a pore minimizing primer, so it's filling your pores in, but the e.l.f. one doesn't make me break out, so I don't know what the story with that is. Anywho, I've just put that in my T-zone and all places where my pores are more enlarged. The next is a popular drugstore foundation, and this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. You can see I picked this up when it was literally a new product. It says new. It's been a couple years since I've used this, and this is Dewy Lumino. You know, I have a Dewy Lumino primer that I used in a recent video. This is in the shade Buff Bisque, so it's probably too dark for me right now, but we're just gonna make it work. That's why I wore a turtleneck. Oh, I forgot about this doe foot applicator. Okay, let's just see how this goes. Yeah, definitely not my shade right now, but that's all right. I'm gonna go ahead and blend this out with my beauty sponge. This is definitely a couple of shades too dark for me. I got this when obviously I was tan, but I've kind of just not really been in the mood to self-tan lately, and so I also just haven't really been leaving the house, and I just feel like it's a waste if I'm self-tanning and not going anywhere. Like, I don't really mind being pale. I feel like I got really sucked into the sort of self-tan lifestyle when I moved to Ireland just because everybody does it, and I had never used self-tanner prior to moving here, so I don't know. I feel like there's something wrong with embracing your fair skin sometimes, you feel me? We're gonna put a tiny bit more because I feel like we're not really getting the coverage that we should be. So I'm gonna try now with a brush and see if maybe that makes a difference. I didn't dampen the sponge, so it shouldn't really be like sucking up a lot of product. Maybe this is just a lighter formula than I remember, I don't know. Next is the Tarte Shape Tape, and I know everyone loves this, and I just haven't used this in forever. I prefer some of the drugstore concealers. I really like the NYX Serum Concealer. That one's really good. There's also the L'Oreal Age Perfect. Is it Age Perfect? It's the Radiant Concealer. I don't remember. This is my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Sand. And this is like, there's nothing wrong with this formula. It's very high coverage. I personally think that my shade is just too light for me, and I don't really like that super brightening under eye look anymore. I feel like that's kind of dated, and that's not really my favorite. But the concealer itself is a good concealer. Like, I think I just need to get it in a darker shade because I don't like this really bright sort of like flashback look where your under eyes are just super duper white. It's just not really my vibe anymore. Okay, and to set the under eye, I'm using my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, another super popular product. I don't know why I don't really reach for this. I don't know, I feel like it's a little drying sometimes. But it is very nice and smoothing. Like, you can't deny this is a good product. But I just don't feel like... I don't know, this is another thing. So, I never used to set my makeup or my eyes, and I feel like my makeup always looked way better. I feel like when I set my under eyes, they crease, but when I don't set them, they don't crease. So I just have that problem. Like, am I just doing something wrong? Because I don't know what it is. Maybe my skin's too dry, I just hate setting powder. Like, I honestly don't know. Then I'm gonna go in with my Fenty matchstick in the shade Mocha. Again, like a really highly rated product. It is a really nice product. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. I just don't use it. I don't know why. I used to use it all the time, so maybe I just need to revisit this product and I'll like it more. I think what I remember was it being kind of like hard to blend. But it seems okay. Like, not the easiest, but definitely not the hardest to blend either. So yeah, this seems like a nice product. I don't really know why I stopped using this. I think I kind of just started gravitating more towards powder bronzers for a while, and then, you know, I've just got the ones at the top of my drawer on my table that I just use all the time, and I kind of forget about some of these other ones. So this is nice to kind of like revisit some old faves, because I do remember liking this a lot. Okay, next is blush. I have a couple blushes here. One is a Wet n Wild blush. This is like, oh my god, the packaging is so worn off of this. Floral Majority. It's like their stick blush. And then I also have this Milani Cheek Kiss. I think I hate this one because it does not blend. I'm going to try it on the back of my hand right now so we don't have an oopsie type. Oh god, that was a lot. Oh, that was way too much. Okay. We're just gonna... Oh. Goodness gracious, I definitely picked up too much there. Okay, we're doing a really pink look now because we just used way too much of that. It's fine. I'll go in with my foundation brush and beauty sponge, and we will have to blend this bad boy out because that is really pink. Wow. And I still have a ton on the back of my hand that we're obviously not using. Lord, that is too much. Okay, it's fine. Once we blend it with this sponge, it kind of diffuses it a bit. So I've never actually tried using the Milani Cheek Kiss blush with a brush before, and that actually blended very nicely. This is in the shade Berry Smooch. So I wasn't using this before because I was like, I hate it, but I don't know. I think it's actually a lot nicer. I think before I was using my fingers, it wasn't the vibe. Okay, next we have highlight. I'm gonna use two. So I have the Revlon Skin Lights, and everyone loves this. It is a really nice product. I don't have a reason for not using it other than the fact that I just don't use it very often. So we're gonna try and make this work today. And maybe it's, yeah, it's really pretty. It does kind of remind me of the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless, was it Flawless Filter or something like that? I'm such a professional. Yeah, it does give like a nice glow. And then we're gonna go in with the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlight. And this is a very, very popular one. A lot of people love this. I don't know what it is for me. This just never really did it for me. I don't know if it's just because of the shade, like it was too light or what, but it just was never one of my favorites. Pick some up here. It actually is pretty nice when I'm fair like this, I won't lie. I think it was too icy before because I was always self-tanned. So it's not bad if you have fair skin. For brows, this is a product I used to use all the time. This is the, what is this? This is the NYX Eyebrow Cake Powder. Oops. And I have the shade Brunette here. And I mean, I've definitely used this quite a bit. Like you can see, I've hit pan. I just don't really use brow powders anymore or like brow pencils. I'm kind of on like the like brow mascara with like the liquid flick brow pen. But I know that I used to really like this. So let's just do our brows with this today. And this is like a really popular product. It's kind of like, I think it's a dupe for like one of the Anastasia ones. And it is really easy to work with. So if you like a brow powder or like if you use an eyeshadow for a powder, like I do that sometimes too, you'll probably really like this product. Powders are easier to use and the brows are much more forgiving. I feel like it definitely gives like a nice natural fill to your brows. It's definitely not like an overly glam brow, but this is like a very nice natural look. You wouldn't really think maybe I was wearing a lot of brow product, so chef's kiss. For eyes, I'm going to be going in with my Naked 3 palette. This has been around for ages now. This is probably low-key expired, but it's fine. A lot of the Naked eyeshadow palettes are super popular. I just don't really reach for them anymore. I feel like you can get these like the same colorway for much cheaper, like at the drugstore. We're gonna make a mauve-y look out of this. These do have really pretty shades in here. I just don't really reach for it anymore. I don't know why. Okay, well, I stand corrected. It does look very nice, and maybe I will reach for this eyeshadow palette a bit more. Moving on into mascara, I have my Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. I do really like this mascara. The reason I don't really use it is it just gives you panda eyes. I don't know. It does smudge a lot. So maybe I need to try like one of the other ones because I know a lot of the Essence mascaras are really highly rated. And I just can't figure out how to get this one to not smudge on me. If I can just figure out how to get this to not smudge, I would use this probably every day because like barely even one full coat and they're so much longer. Okay, it's time for a lip liner. These are both, surprisingly, NYX lip pencils, and you guys know I love NYX. These are just two shades. Ooh. These are two popular shades that just don't really do it for me. This one is the shade Natural, and this one I know is like a big favorite. Here, I'll swatch it. I don't know if it like is coming up. You can see it's just right here. And then the other one is Nude Suede Shoes. Oh, that one dried out. We're not using that one. That one dried out because the cap was missing. So we won't use that one. That is a popular one too. So we're just gonna go with Natural. And this is a pretty lip liner. It's just too close to my lip shade. So it doesn't really do anything. Like, you just don't really see a difference. If you have lighter lips, this is gonna be perfect for you. But for me, I definitely prefer the NYX Shade Ever pencil. You guys know I use that all the time. That one is just like a shade or two darker than my natural lip color. And I've got a couple lip products here, again, both from NYX. I'm not trying to hate on NYX, I promise. We have the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream, which is pretty popular, and then the NYX Slip Tease. And I know both of these are really popular products. I just don't really reach for them. We'll go in with the pink one first and maybe tone it down then with the more neutral. I think I don't like the moussey texture of this. It kind of just sits weird on my lips. I don't know. I feel like it really emphasizes dryness and like cracking in my lips, which I obviously have a lot in the winter, and I just don't think it looks that great. And then, oh yeah, so the reason this was not my favorite shade was it was too nude. It was very nude. But you know, together, if you mix them, it actually gives just the perfect amount of pinky warmth. And then if you want to layer the nude over it, I feel like this actually doesn't look too bad. So that is it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you use any of these makeup products regularly, or if there's a reason that you've tried them and you don't use them. And just let me know what your favorite makeup products are down below, because I'd really like to try out some new things, and I love a good recommendation. Thank you guys so much for watching.